Your pants might be on fire, but at least you'll be able to afford new pants. Dan Riskin is back for This Week in Science, and this week you're bringing us a story about the science behind liars getting hires.
Yeah, you know what? When you talk about a liar, it's said it's a bad thing, right? Oh, I don't want to work with some liar. I don't want to hire some liar. But it turns out that for some jobs, we perceive liars as more competent, specifically sales-type jobs.
Okay, so we want sales. All right. Okay, we'll go down the rabbit hole in a second. But this is based on a study, an actual study with science behind it at the University of Chicago. So what did it involve, and what did they find?
There were actually a whole bunch of different studies, all getting at the same thing, where people who participated in the study saw someone and figured out that they were a liar, and then were asked, do you think this person would be good at this type of job? Do you think this person would be good at this type of job? And the overwhelming consensus was when they saw someone who lied, they said, yeah, they'd be pretty good at, a sales job or an advertising job or maybe in banking. However, if they were asked about other types of jobs where they think lying isn't good, like being a consultant or working as a manager of a nonprofit or accounting, they said, yeah, maybe you don't want the liar for those jobs.
Look, I'm getting the liars for sales and advertising, not because I think that's populated by that, but I think you need to be able to think creatively. In those industries.
Yeah, well,
banking, I'm a little concerned with.
Well, listen, hey, do you remember 2008? I mean, that's what's scary about this study is there are all these jobs that pay a pretty good amount of money that sort of fall into this sales area. And if we think that a liar would be better at those jobs, then we're going to fill those jobs with more liars, right? And so we create a culture that's not good. And sometimes the lie is pretty minor, right? I mean, so one of the scenarios, they talked about Julie. Julie took a cab. It cost her $40. She reimbursed for $50 from her company. That was what you were told about Julie. Now, do you think Julie would be good at an advertising job? And with no other information, people said, yeah, sure, Julie.
I don't think Julie would be good at an advertising job. I think that just means Julie wants to bilk her company for more money.
And this is part of the problem, right? The company is going to get bilked. Here's another one. Your boss says to you,
shame on you, Julie.
I love golfing. What do you think of golfing? Do you like golfing? And if
I say yes, even though I'm not a particular strong golf fan,
you're lying.
Yeah, well, yes, but I'm also trying to forward a conversation, keep a conversation going. If you say no to a conversation like that, you've shut down any connection with that boss.
But if they said, I mean, you're lying. It's just it's a white lie, but I think you'd be pretty good at advertising.
One's a crime.
Well, okay, yes, one is a crime, but this is where it comes in. There was another one where people watched people doing a study, and when they saw a person cheat their partner in the study to make more money from this little game they were playing, they watched that and they said, oh yeah, that person would be better at these types of jobs. So we're lying to ourselves if we think that we don't like liars anywhere. We think that liars have a place in society and that there's a certain place where we want to put them. And the danger is, if we don't acknowledge that, then we run the risk of putting a whole bunch of liars into certain kinds of jobs.
I think there's a difference between creative thinkers, people who are willing to keep, a white lie for the sake of building a relationship, a professional relationship. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. People who are stealing from their company, that's a whole different ball of wax.
That's true, but what it does is it gets there. If you have a person that always tells the truth, right, that is just absolutely they are the most trustworthy person in the world, what this says is that that's not necessarily the person we would hire for that job. And maybe that ability to smooth over a conversation and get a sale as a result because they can schmooze a little bit in the sales room, maybe that's what we're getting at. But the point is that the idea that liars are bad all the time just isn't true anymore.
Well, you are a truth teller when you come on this show, and I appreciate that about you. Thank you, Dan Riskin.
I do my best.